Have you ever felt like your energy is fading faster than it used to? Like your muscles just don't bounce back the way they once did? Maybe you've noticed that carrying groceries feels heavier, or getting up from the couch takes a little more effort than it used to. If you've felt that way lately, I just want to say, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's something you can do about it. See, one of the biggest myths about getting older is that muscle loss is just something we have to accept, like gray hair or wrinkles. But here's the good news. Science is starting to prove that this simply isn't true. In fact, researchers from Harvard Medical School have found that with the right nutrition and lifestyle choices, we can not only slow muscle loss, we can actually regain strength even after 60. And guess what? It doesn't require a complicated workout plan or a kitchen full of supplements. Sometimes the real game changer is knowing what to remove, not just what to add. That's what we're diving into today. In this video, we're going to explore 4 common foods that might be sabotaging your muscle strength without you even realizing it. These are foods many of us eat every week, sometimes even daily. But once you understand how they affect your body, especially as you age, you'll see why cutting them back could be one of the best things you do for your strength, your energy, and your overall health. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because the last food we're going to talk about might be hiding in something you've always thought was healthy. But before we go any further, I just want to say this clearly. Backhand index pointing right disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so please consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, exercise routine, or lifestyle. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Always listen to your body and get professional guidance when needed. Alright, let's dive in. Let's start with the first food you might want to rethink if you're aiming to build or maintain muscle after 60. Food number 1, processed meats. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, you're telling me that the ham in my sandwich or the bacon I enjoy on Sunday mornings is hurting my muscles? I get it. Processed meats are tasty, convenient, and they've been part of many people's diets for decades. But here's the problem. Processed meats, like sausages, hot dogs, deli slices, and bacon, are packed with things your muscles really don't like: sodium, nitrates, and inflammatory compounds. These substances can trigger chronic inflammation in the body, and inflammation is one of the sneakiest enemies of muscle health. According to a 2020 study published in the journal Nutrients, chronic inflammation is directly linked to a condition called sarcopenia. If you're not familiar with that term, sarcopenia is the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength, and it's more common than you might think, affecting up to 50% of people over 60. When your body is in a constant state of low-level inflammation, it becomes harder for your muscles to repair themselves, grow, or even function the way they're supposed to. And here's where processed meats become a big problem. The preservatives and chemical additives they contain can spike that inflammation, especially when eaten regularly. Now let me tell you about someone I know. His name's Richard. He's 68, used to be in construction, and always considered himself strong. But after retiring, he noticed he was losing strength in his hands and arms. At first, he chalked it up to aging, but after speaking with a nutritionist, he discovered he was eating processed meats almost every day. Turkey sandwiches for lunch, bacon with breakfast, salami for snacks. He cut back drastically and started including more fresh protein sources, grilled chicken, legumes, even plant-based options. And within a few months, he felt the difference. His grip strength improved, and so did his energy. And no, he didn't have to give up flavor, just switch to smarter choices. So what can you eat instead? Focus on lean, whole food proteins that support muscle repair and reduce inflammation. Think grilled chicken, salmon, tofu, beans, lentils, and even eggs in moderation. These foods provide your body with the amino acids it needs to build and maintain muscle, without the chemical additives that do more harm than good. Here's something really interesting too. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults who ate high-quality protein consistently throughout the day maintained more lean muscle mass than those who ate the same amount of protein all at once. So it's not just what you eat, but how you spread it out during the day. So instead of that bacon at breakfast and nothing but salad at dinner, think about balancing protein across all your meals. Your muscles will thank you for it. And remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. Making small changes can lead to big results over time. Alright, now that we've talked about processed meats and how they can sneakily undermine your strength, get ready, because in part 2, we're going to talk about something even more surprising. It's a food that many people consider healthy, but when it comes to muscle preservation, it might not be doing you any favors. So we've already talked about processed meats and how they can quietly chip away at your strength over time. But what if I told you that some foods we think of as healthy might not be the best choice either, especially if you're over 60 and trying to hold on to your muscle? Let's talk about food number 2, low-fat and fat-free dairy products. Now this one might surprise you. For decades, we were told that low-fat was the way to go. Yogurt? Make it fat-free. Milk? Skim only. Cheese? Just a sliver of the low-fat kind. The idea was that fat equals bad, especially for heart health. But newer research is painting a very different picture, one that matters a lot when it comes to keeping your body strong and resilient. See, fat isn't the enemy, at least not the right kind of fat. In fact, full-fat dairy contains something your muscles absolutely love: conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA. CLA is a type of healthy fat that's been shown in multiple studies to support muscle growth, reduce fat mass, and even improve metabolic function. A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed full-fat dairy had better muscle function and were less likely to suffer from frailty than those who stuck with fat-free versions. Why? Because fat helps your body absorb key vitamins like D and K2, both of which play essential roles in bone and muscle health. Not to mention, many low-fat and fat-free dairy products are loaded with added sugars to make up for the lack of flavor. Just look at a typical fruit-flavored fat-free yogurt. It can have more sugar than a donut. And when sugar spikes your insulin, it can trigger inflammation, drain your energy, and work against your goals. I remember a client named Susan. She was 64, super active, loved her yoga classes, and always made what she thought were healthy choices. But she told me she was feeling sluggish and had started to lose some tone in her arms and legs. When we looked at her diet, nearly all her dairy was low-fat. She'd have skim milk with cereal, fat-free yogurt for lunch, and a sprinkle of low-fat cheese at dinner. Once she switched to plain Greek yogurt with a little honey and started using whole milk in her coffee again, she actually started noticing more energy and a better recovery from workouts. It was a simple change, but it made a real difference. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to start guzzling cream. Moderation is key. But the fear of fat that many of us grew up with may actually be holding us back. The goal is balance, real food, minimal processing, and enough healthy fat to keep your muscles fueled and your hormones happy. You might be wondering, but isn't full-fat dairy bad for cholesterol? That's a valid question. But interestingly, a meta-analysis from the European Journal of Nutrition found no association between full-fat dairy and heart disease risk. In fact, some types of cheese may even have a protective effect because of how they're fermented. So the takeaway? Don't fear the fat, especially if it's coming from high-quality, whole dairy sources. Now, before we move on, let's address something that comes up a lot when people start tweaking their diet in their 60s or 70s. You might be thinking, isn't it too late for me to make a difference? And honestly, I love that question, because the answer is incredibly empowering. No, it's not too late. Not even close. Studies have shown that even people in their 80s and 90s can build muscle and regain strength with the right approach. You're never too old to benefit from better food choices. The human body is incredibly adaptable, even later in life. You just need to give it the right tools. Let me tell you about James. He's 76, lives with his wife in Arizona, and started lifting light weights during the pandemic when gyms were closed. He also made one small change. He cut back on sugary drinks and switched to water and herbal teas. That's it. No strict diet, no intense workouts. After 6 months, he told me he was sleeping better, walking longer, and didn't need help carrying groceries anymore. It wasn't magic, it was consistency. And that brings me to the next big topic we need to talk about, something so basic, yet so overlooked. Something that affects your muscles just as much as your meals. Hydration. Yep, water. Dehydration might not sound like a big deal, But even mild dehydration can reduce muscle function, cause fatigue, and make you feel weaker than you actually are. And here's the kicker. As we age, our sense of thirst dulls. That means by the time you feel thirsty, you may already be dehydrated. In fact, research from the University of Arkansas shows that older adults are at greater risk for dehydration, and that staying hydrated can directly improve muscle endurance and strength. So how do you know if you're getting enough? A good rule of thumb is to aim for half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So if you weigh 160 pounds, that's about 80 ounces, roughly 10 cups of water. More if it's hot out or you're exercising. And yes, herbal teas, broths, and even water-rich fruits like watermelon and cucumber can count toward that total. The key is consistency. Keep a water bottle nearby. Sip throughout the day. Your muscles and your entire body will thank you. Alright, now that we've talked about some of the surprising foods and habits that might be holding your strength back, get ready. Because in the next part, we're diving into one of the biggest challenges people face as they age. How to stay motivated and keep going, even when energy is low or pain flares up. You won't want to miss it, especially because we'll also reveal the third food that could be quietly draining your strength and what to replace it with instead. If you're enjoying this so far and want more simple, science-backed tips to stay healthy as you age, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got new videos every week designed to help you live stronger, feel better, and age with confidence. Alright, let's keep going, because the next food we're going to talk about might actually surprise you the most. Food number 3, refined carbohydrates. You know the ones, white bread, pastries, crackers, most breakfast cereals, and even those so-called healthy granola bars. These foods are everywhere, they're convenient, and they've been a staple in many of our diets for years. But here's the thing, refined carbs break down quickly into sugar in your body, and that sugar spike does more than just mess with your energy. It triggers insulin, and too much insulin over time promotes fat storage and muscle breakdown. Yes, muscle breakdown. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that diets high in refined carbs were associated with increased inflammation and decreased muscle strength in older adults. That inflammation doesn't just hurt your joints, it actually weakens your muscles' ability to recover and grow. And you've probably felt it too, even if you didn't realize it. That heavy, sluggish feeling after a big bowl of pasta or a plate of white rice. That's your blood sugar and insulin doing a roller coaster, and your muscles are along for the ride. Now, here's what's really important. I'm not saying carbs are bad. Your body needs them. But the type of carb matters a lot. Whole carbs like oats, quinoa, sweet potatoes, and brown rice come packaged with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants that help your muscles work better, not worse. And that fiber slows down the digestion of sugars, giving you longer-lasting energy and helping you avoid those crashes that leave you feeling tired or weak. I once met a woman named Gloria. She was 71, incredibly sharp, full of personality, but she was always battling fatigue. She told me she'd start the day with toast and jam, then a granola bar for a mid-morning snack, followed by crackers and cheese at lunch. Classic comfort foods, right? But when she replaced just 2 of those snacks with a hard-boiled egg and a small bowl of oatmeal topped with blueberries, her energy noticeably improved within 2 weeks. And here's the kicker, she didn't lose weight, she gained strength. Sometimes the smallest shifts can make the biggest difference. And let's talk real for a second, because I know making changes isn't always easy. One of the biggest hurdles for many people as they get older isn't just knowing what to eat or what exercises to try. It's motivation. It's the feeling of, what's the point? I'm too tired. Or, I'm too far gone. It's too late. If that's ever crossed your mind, I want to gently challenge that belief. Because here's the truth, your body is listening to everything you do. Every choice, every movement, every bite. And even if you've spent years doing things one way, you can start today, and your body will respond. There's a man named Paul, one of my favorite stories. He didn't start strength training until he was 72. Before that, he'd never stepped foot in a gym. His knees ached, his balance was off, and he'd fallen twice in the last year. But he started small, bodyweight exercises at home, some light resistance bands, nothing fancy. 3 months later, he said to me, "I feel 10 years younger." And he meant it. His legs felt stronger. He could climb stairs without holding the railing. Even his posture improved. But more than that, he had hope again. He saw what was possible. And that's what I want for you. Because building strength after 60 isn't about getting ripped or running marathons. Unless you want to, of course. It's about confidence, independence. It's about carrying your own groceries, standing taller, feeling steadier on your feet, and yes, getting back up with ease if you kneel down to play with your grandkids. And here's something else we often don't talk about enough: emotions. Aging can be tough on your mindset. You might feel invisible. You might feel frustrated that your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Or you might just feel stuck. But science backs this up too. Staying emotionally engaged, feeling connected, purposeful, and supported has a direct link to physical health. In fact, a study out of Harvard's 75-year longitudinal health study, one of the longest-running studies on aging, found that relationships and emotional well-being were stronger predictors of healthy aging than even cholesterol levels. That's powerful. So yes, avoiding processed foods and refined carbs matters. But so does joy. So does community. So does laughter. And moving your body, even gently, while nourishing it with the right foods. That's a recipe for vitality. Let's do a quick recap of where we are so far. A processed meats, loaded with inflammation-triggering additives. A low-fat dairy, missing the healthy fats your body needs. Refined carbs, spiked blood sugar, and wear your muscles down. And here's the best part, we're not done yet. In part 4, we'll wrap everything up with one final food to avoid, and this one might really shock you. Plus a few empowering takeaways you can start using right now. I'll also share one last piece of motivation that might just change the way you think about aging. And hey, if this video has helped you so far, go ahead and give it a thumbs up or share it with a friend or loved one who might need a little encouragement too. Because strength after 60? It's not only possible, it's powerful. Alright, we've talked about some surprising foods that can hold you back from staying strong and energized after 60. And we've seen just how powerful small, consistent changes can be. But there's one more food we need to talk about. And honestly, this one hides in plain sight. Food number 4, artificial sweeteners. Yep, those little pink, blue, or yellow packets, sugar-free gums, diet sodas, and zero-calorie snacks. They sound like a smart choice, especially if you're trying to lose weight or manage blood sugar. But the reality is, they might be doing more harm than good. Here's why. While artificial sweeteners don't contain calories, they still trigger your brain's response to sweetness. That means your body prepares for a sugar hit, releasing insulin, increasing cravings, and potentially disrupting your metabolism. Even more concerning, several studies have found links between artificial sweeteners and muscle weakness, gut imbalance, and increased risk of insulin resistance, which is something many older adults are already trying to manage. A 2023 study published in Cell found that certain artificial sweeteners, like saccharin and sucralose, can alter the gut microbiome in ways that may impair glucose metabolism and even affect muscle energy. When your gut isn't happy, your whole body suffers, especially your strength and stamina. And let's be real, how many times have you had a diet soda, thinking it was the better choice, only to find yourself hungrier an hour later? That's not a coincidence. These sweeteners can confuse hunger signals and lead to more snacking, which often means more refined carbs or sugary foods, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut sweetness out of your life. Not at all. But consider more natural options like stevia, monk fruit, or a touch of raw honey or maple syrup in moderation. These tend to have less of a metabolic impact and can still satisfy that sweet tooth in a way your body understands. I had a viewer named Lorraine reach out to me once. She was 68, had been drinking 2 diet sodas a day for over a decade. When she gradually replaced them with sparkling water flavored with lemon and mint, she noticed something unexpected: less bloating, fewer cravings, and better focus. And within a few weeks, she had more energy to go for daily walks again. It wasn't a huge lifestyle overhaul, just one thoughtful change. So let's take a deep breath and reflect for a second. If you've ever felt like your body is slowing down, like strength is slipping away with the years, you're not alone. But you're also not stuck. Because aging isn't about decline, it's about decision. You can choose how you support your body. You can choose what goes on your plate. You can choose movement, hydration, connection, and mindset. And your body, It will thank you. Let's quickly revisit what we've covered, without turning this into a boring checklist. We looked at how processed meats, while convenient, can drive inflammation and chip away at your vitality. How low-fat dairy might actually be robbing you of the healthy fats your muscles need. How refined carbs send your energy and strength on a roller coaster. And how artificial sweeteners, despite their zero-calorie label, may silently sabotage your progress. Each of these foods can add up over time. But when you start swapping them out, even gradually, you open the door to more strength, better recovery, clearer thinking, and longer-lasting energy. I'll leave you with this. Aging is not something that happens to you. It's something you participate in. And yes, you can participate in it with power. Experts like Dr. Michael Greger and the team behind the Blue Zone's research agree. Lifestyle trumps genetics in most cases. What you eat, how you move, who you spend time with, and how you manage stress all play a bigger role than the genes you were born with. And that's good news, because that means you're in control. Whether it's choosing oatmeal over white toast, taking a short walk after lunch, or saying yes to full-fat Greek yogurt instead of the sugary fat-free kind, these small choices create momentum, and that momentum turns into strength, confidence, freedom. So here's your simple challenge for today. Pick one food from this list that you want to replace. Just one. Swap it out for something a little better, something that makes your body feel a little more alive. And do it for a week. That's it. One change. 1 week. You've got this. And hey, we'd really love to hear from you. If you have any questions about today's topic, or ideas for future videos, or even your own story to share, drop it in the comments below. We read every one, and your input could inspire the next video. And if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss another tip. Because this is your time, your journey. And it's never too late to feel stronger, sharper, and more alive. Here's to living your best life at any age.